Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you stayed to the end of my last video, then you would have heard me say that my next video was going to be a review on some Arteza products. I was really excited when Arteza reached out to me to see if I wanted to review some of their products. I'm always on the lookout to try some new pencils and paints, so I was really happy to try out this new brand. I will be speaking very honestly about the pros and cons of this brand because there are some that I found along the way. This video also doesn't really do justice as a full review on these products because I haven't used all of them, so if I refer to them again in the future, that is only because I really want to give you guys the best information that I can. Since I was going to be trying some new products, I decided to try out a new doll. I saw this My Little Pony Equestria Girls Fluttershy doll at Target and I thought she would be a fun doll to repaint. After taking her out of her box, I cover her with fabric and pin the fabric in place along her hairline. Then I wipe off her factory face using acetone and Q-tips. When Arteza asked if I wanted to review some of their products, I was mainly concerned about what products they would be sending. Obviously, my channel has to do with customizing dolls, so I didn't want them to send me any art supplies that I wouldn't be able to showcase in a video. Luckily, they did tell me what products they would be sending, and here is the first item that they sent. They sent me these watercolor pencils in a set of 72 colors that retail for $28.98. Just by opening the box, I could tell that there were so many colors that I was dying to use that I didn't have in my current collection of watercolor pencils. The first thing I noticed was that when I sharpened these pencils, they didn't break as easily as my Derwent pencils do. The quality of these pencils are actually really nice. The first time I used them to draw on the face, they did show up really pigmented. However, when I tried layering lighter colors on top of darker colors, they had a really hard time showing up and were barely noticeable. The pros that I came up with for these pencils were that they had great pigmentation for a first layer and are buildable. They have lots of colors to choose from for an affordable price because they come out to about 40 cents per pencil, and they sharpen easily for a really fine point to allow for delicate detail. The cons were that the lighter colors have a hard time showing up on top of darker colors even after a layer of Mr. Super Clear, and they did not work very well when I tried lifting off the colors from the pencil onto a wet paintbrush. All in all, I really did like these pencils and I will be using them again in the future. I would recommend these to any doll customizers who are looking to add more colors to their current collection of watercolor pencils, or to anyone who wants to try out doll customizing and get a lot of colors without spending a lot of money. The next thing they sent me was an acrylic paint set in 24 colors, which retails for $20.49. I normally don't use acrylic paints in my repaints, so it's not really appropriate for me to speak on their usefulness when doing face-ups with these paints. I would probably use these when adding some colorful details to the face, like when I added scales to my mermaid doll, or I might use them to repaint shoes or any other accessories. There are a lot of colors in this paint set, which is really nice to see. On the packaging of this paint set and some of the other products, it was really cool to see all the different colors that were included in the sets on the outside of the package. I was actually surprised to see how much paint was included in each tube. There is a lot of paint, so it should last for a while. Even though I don't use acrylic paints in my face-ups very often, I still really appreciated them sending me them in the normal set of acrylic paints and this set of 12 metallic acrylic paints. On their website, these metallic paints retail for $20.99. I do want to try using acrylics in the future, so this will help me get used to using paints in face-ups. I was really excited to receive these metallic colors because I knew I wanted to use them to add a little bit more shimmer to the irises of the dolls. These would also work well when you want to repaint shoes and add a little bit more detail to them. I ended up using the Pearl Pink Tulip color for the irises of the Fluttershy doll. It added a really nice shimmer without being too obvious. I can't give any pros and cons for these paints just yet because I haven't used them enough in my work. However, I will say that the 24 set of acrylic paints is a pretty good deal because when you divide the price to the number that you get, each tube comes out to about 85 cents. That being said, I probably won't give them my approval because for an extra 15 cents you can buy the dollar acrylic paints at Joann Fabrics. These do dry with a bit more of a shiny finish, so I'm not really sure how that kind of works for any doll face-up artists who use acrylic paints in their work. Personally, since I don't use acrylic paints in my work, I can't really give them a full review, but maybe if you're just looking for some nice acrylic paints, then these are the set for you. Overall, I won't say that I recommend them, but maybe if you want to try out some paints, you can try out these paints, but they're not essential to doll face painting. The last few things that they sent me were some holographic glitter shakers and paintbrushes. I was also really excited to try out these holographic glitter shakers because I think glitter just adds a really nice touch to dolls. They sent me glitter shakers in the colors Fairy Dust and Moonstone, and another set in Mermaid Rain and Electra. The glitter shakers come in sets of 2 and sell for $9.99. You have seen me use holographic glitter flakes in past repaint videos. I just used them in my Frankie doll repaint to use them in her eyes, and they're not at all like those flakes. They're not so much holographic as they are shiny and reflective. However, I do really like these glitters themselves because they come in a mix of shapes, sizes, and colors. I will be showing off the colors Fairy Dust and Moonstone in a video that will come out soon, so stick around for that video if you want to see them in action. I will probably be using these to add little accents like I did for my unicorn dolls, where I added glitter around their horns and the sides of their face. These would also work well to fill up little glass charm bottles, which I have also given to dolls in the past. Again, I really do like these shakers, but they're not essential to doll face painting. They're more for just adding a bit more shine and sparkle to a doll's design. The paintbrushes come in a set of 15 and sell for $14.54. The brushes come in different shapes and sizes. They come in linear, flat, and round, and each of them come in 5 different sizes, which allow for delicate detail or some broader strokes. I did mention when I was speaking about the watercolor pencils that the color did not want to lift off the pencil onto the brush. I did try doing this technique with these new paintbrushes and my old paintbrushes, and it didn't work for either of them. But they are a really great value for the price that they're set at because each brush comes out to about 97 cents. Just as a recap, I think if I had to pick any favorites, it would be the glitter shakers and the watercolor pencils. I really like how many colors come in the set of watercolor pencils, and you can't really go wrong with holographic glitter. The acrylic paints I will have to keep using and give you a better idea of how they work and how I like them again in the future. The brushes are kind of to each their own, I guess, because their brushes are a bit more on the stiff side, which can be good and can be bad. That being said, I think I will call this a first impression, not a review, because that sounds more fair to the products themselves. I want to give a big thank you to Arteza for sending me these products to give my honest feedback on and to share with all of you. There will be a link in the description if you guys want to buy these products. If you use the link to buy items on Arteza, I will be given a little bit of kickback, which doesn't affect the price of your items, but it does give me a bit of a commission, which helps support the channel. Finally, with first impressions out of the way, let's go ahead and try them out on our Fluttershy doll. Like I mentioned earlier, these pencils sharpen very well in my pencil sharpener, which allowed for very delicate lines. I start off by drawing in her top eyeliner with the color Burnt Ochre. I started off using this Burnt Ochre color because I was going to give Fluttershy a more of a pastel look, but after seeing so many colors in the set, I really wanted to try using some darker colors. Before doing that, I used the same light brown pencil to draw in her top eyelashes. Since this is my first attempt at drawing on this new face mold, I decided to stick with the lighter colors for now because I wasn't sure if the darker colors were going to leave a stain, so I wanted to leave any of those bigger mistakes towards the end. Still using that Burnt Ochre pencil, I draw in the crease for her eye, and I also outline her nostrils. I wasn't sure what color this pink watercolor pencil was going to give me, and it ended up being a little bit lighter than I would have liked, so later on, after another layer of MSC, I used a darker pink pencil from the set to go over the lips. There was a lot of trial and error in this doll because of the new pencils and the new face mold, so it was a challenge, but I really liked the end results. The next thing I do is use the white pencil from the set to draw in the whites of her eyes, and I was really surprised by the pigmentation of this pencil after only one layer. Then I seal my work with the spray of Mr. Super Clear in order to begin layering on some more colors. This is when I used a darker pink pencil to go over the lips, which I think we can all agree is a much better choice and shows up a lot better than the first pencil. Like I mentioned earlier, I used a darker brown pencil for her eyes, which is what I am showing you now. It shows up a lot better and is very vibrant against her yellow skin. I decided to stick away from black because I didn't want her face up to be heavy, since she is a very sweet Fluttershy doll. I accidentally tried out a new idea that I wanted to give a doll, which was 2 different eyeshadow colors. I couldn't decide on what color I wanted to give Fluttershy, so I started off by this blue, gold, and white combination. I start off by putting the shade Honey, which is a gold color, in the middle part of her eye crease above her eyelashes, and I use Peacock Blue near the outer edges and White Quartz near the center as a highlight. For a more seamless transition between the blue eyeshadow and the doll's skin, I used blue soft pastels to blend out the color. I was also debating on using orange for Fluttershy's eyeshadow color, so I ended up using it on the left side of her face, and I kept the same gold and white colors as well. I used a gray pencil in the color Smoke to lightly sketch in her iris. Even though I draw big eyes on my Monster High and Ever After High dolls, this doll's eyes are still much bigger than those. I didn't want to give Fluttershy a very bright pink waterline, so I decided to use this coral color instead. I also tried to keep it thinner than I normally do, which was very easy because these pencils sharpen to a very fine point. Of course, her eyebrows need to match her very vibrant pink hair, so I used a pink pencil to sketch in those. I didn't give her too much of an arch and I kept them pretty simple. I tried to do something new with this doll and used a dark red color to outline her iris and draw in her pupil, and I also tried to give her eyes two different tones of light pink and orange. I didn't like how it looked and it didn't turn out as well as I had hoped, so I ended up just going over the dark red and the top half of her iris with a brown pencil. This was also when I realized that lifting off the colors with a wet paintbrush wasn't going to work because I usually do this for the bottom eyelashes, so here instead I had to actually draw them on with the brown pencil. I draw them in with the brown pencil I used for the top eyelashes, and I keep them in the same triangular shape that I do for most of my dolls. Towards the end of the face up is when I add final touches and details, so here I am adding brown near the ends of her eyebrows. I used the gold color and pink color from the metallic acrylic paint set to add some shine to her pupils and eyeshadow. The pink adds a very nice shimmer to her eyes without being too reflective for photographs, and the gold color really brings out the gold pencil I had initially layered for her eyeshadow. I really liked how the gold sparkled in her eyeshadow, so I ended up using the orange, white, and blue from the metallic acrylic paint set to also add onto her eyeshadow, which I think really completes the shimmery look. Near the end of her face up, I add eye shines and little eyebrow hairs near the center part of her eyebrows, and I also added a small floral detail around her eyes. I did record myself adding the floral detail, but as you can see, my hand completely blocks the view, so I don't think this is very helpful. So, sorry, my apologies. But enough of that, let's move on to final photos. Here is Fluttershy with her face completely repainted using only Arteza products besides the soft blushing from Pastels. It was really fun to paint on a new face mold using new products. In review, I will still be using these pencils for future face-ups because it adds a variety of colors that I really appreciate, but I think I will be sticking with some of my core colors from Derwent. Since I wanted to use more colors and really try out these pencils, I decided to repaint a Laguna doll off camera. I added some sparkles from the glitter flakes to the side of her face, but I will be using the glitter flakes and paints in another video that will be coming out very soon. I also used the metallic paints on Laguna's fins to give her an ombre from pink to orange. Thank you guys so much for watching and joining me on another doll customizing video, and with this small review of Arteza products. Thank you so much Arteza for sending me these items to try out. I do apologize for this video taking so long to come out, I just wanted to make sure that this video did justice to the items used. My next video will be coming out very soon and will be showcasing these products again, so that will be sort of a part 2 to this first impressions video. If you like this video, feel free to leave a like and comment down below, and if you want to join me on future videos, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video.